Welcome to Growing Older with Gusto. I'm Gail Zergerman, your host, and today we are continuing a series of episodes with people who are considered to be super agers. Dr. Melvern Katzman, who lives in Toronto, is 97 years young and will be talking to us about what it takes to get to his age. Dr. Katzman practiced optometry for 60 years, was actively involved in his professional organizations, his faith, and was a leader for Habitat for Humanity. Most recently, at age 97, he chaired his condo building's 40th anniversary party. He is definitely growing older with gusto, so let's get started. Welcome to the show, Dr. Katzman.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I just have to tell my listeners, this is like so impressive before we even start the conversation. Like, oh my God, Dr. Katzman was having some trouble getting onto the podcast recording platform. And he showed yeomanship effort. Like within a half hour, he it all figured out. And here we are. And I'm so impressed because I am a techno Neanderthal and you're 97 years old. And boy, I couldn't do what you did. So I'm really impressed. Anyway, so I wanted to ask you, people that come on our show are selected because they've shown by example their attitude towards growing older. And you obviously are growing older in a positive and productive way. So what would you tell someone who's maybe, 50 years old, who wants to know what to do and how to grow older without being fearful of growing older?
Well, let's say this. I really provided for my old age. I have many hobbies and I'm involved in the community. I'm involved in my condo, and when my time came to retire, I had plenty of things to do to keep my mind off being feared.
That's great. And so tell us a little bit about what you did to stay vital all these years. What were some of your hobbies? I know you do genealogy, and check me out. That was pretty impressive too.
I'm also a stamp collector, a coin collector. I'm involved with the condo, which I expanded into being involved with the federal government, the provincial government, and the municipal government. So I'm quite active in the community.
What would you say to our listeners has given you the greatest strength as you navigate through life's ups and downs?
I think I'd have to go back to my family, my mother, my father, my in-laws, and one uncle who was my mentor. And they provided a lot to me. They were the ones that made Mel Katzman.
And Dr. Katzman, tell our listeners the wonderful story about how you met your wife.
Believe it or not, it was that mentor uncle that made a blind date. He was at a function. He saw my supposed next, my wife, and he said that would be a nice girl for Mal. And we made a date, but he didn't realize her age. She was 17 and I was 24, and she wouldn't refuse the date because of my uncle. And when we saw each other, that was it.
Wow. Love at first sight, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Talk to our listeners a little bit about the importance of creating and keeping a strong circle of friends. Much as
There isn't too many friends. There isn't too many of my friends left. I seem to be the last one. But what has happened?
Throughout your life, I know you must have had a wide circle of friends.
Oh, I had a lot of friends. And most of them, believe it or not, were younger than my wife and I. And from my synagogue was one source. We belonged to many organizations. And my activities in the community created a lot of friends.
Why do you think that you and your wife were drawn to younger people, or I should say they were drawn to you?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Let's say this, we both enjoyed life. Okay. We were a happy couple and we met happy people.
That's important. That is very important. You mentioned having a lot of hobbies. I know you love genealogy. What are in stamp collecting, coin collecting? Any other things that have given you great pleasure that's ongoing even today?
Well, I think that my family, as most people, when you chat with them, they tell you that their family is very important, that they contribute to your longevity. But and what is important to me, besides I have a wonderful family, I am needed. That's
Right.
that is important to me. It's amazing when the family and the love that they give extends life. In my family, and being chronically blessed, I couldn't ask for more. They fulfill my needs with love. They also have given me something just as important, the feeling of being needed, which gives me a sense of purpose, belonging, and being important in their lives. I can't go anywhere. They need me.
I think that's so amazing because you're one of the first people on the podcast to really talk about that so important quality of being needed. So and having a purpose in life. And I know having a purpose in life is so important to growing older with gusto. And I know because your daughter reached out to me that obviously everything you're saying is absolutely 100% authentic. I just think it says a lot about you and the type of father you were and grandfather. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I have to bring in my wife. My wife is an exceptional person.
How long were you married?
67 years, 69 years also. And what I have and what we gave to our children, I give it all to her. She brought up that we now have 7 doctors in the family, 2 lawyers, 1 CP, and one that didn't follow me, but took over one of my hobbies, which was construction, and he's in the construction industry.
Wow. So tell us about your hobby in construction. You sent me a photo of a beautiful chair tell us about that.
Well, my wife and I used to go around to antique shows, and we picked up this old chair, and I love Mackenzie Childs, her type of art, and I painted the chair in her style, and I've done other pieces of furniture. I've made furniture for my children and grandchildren. Very interesting for my grandson's bar mitzvah. I did the complete venue. Yeah, he loved camping, and I don't know if you know about Algonquin Park. The whole venue was Algonquin Park.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about what it looked like.
Well, as you entered, there was a sign that you would, like a highway sign made out of trees, and on it was his whole life. In other words, it's where he came from and what he did. I made a large boat that was filled with candy. Each table was not numbered, but had the lakes in Algonquin Park. And
Wow.
and then I made passports. You need a passport to get into Algonquin Park. It was
It's so cute, creative, very creative. Wow. And what was the color scheme?
green, wow, outdoor green and white.
Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Do you have any favorite sayings or philosophies for living the good life, which I know you do?
Wow, one of my I have many sayings, and my grandchildren and my children know them all. They fit situations. But one of my favorite sayings is monkey see, monkey do. I believe that children learn by observing and copying the actions and habits. My wife and I have tried to educate by example.
Very good. I like that. I really like that. Lately, I've been reading a lot about what they call neuroplasticity of our brains, which basically they're saying your brain, can change at any age. And in order to keep it supple and keep it going, there's certain things you should do. And obviously you've done those. So I'd like you to share your wisdom with our listeners and talk a little bit about what you think makes for a strong brain.
I just think that I'm, again, active. As you can see, we have problems getting on. I didn't give up.
You didn't. You're amazing. I said at the very beginning, it's so amazing.
I played with it. And that's my life. I won't give up on anything. I can sit days if it takes to find something. That's just my style.
That's great. That's great. Thinking back on your lifetime, what have been some of the largest societal changes during your life so far?
Oh, I think technology. I think that it's affected every aspect of our lives. The internet, the smartphone, social media, the way we work, socialize, communicate. Just imagine if I had the ability to speak to my father and I tell him that we're talking, I see you, you see me, and it's instantaneous. It's just, I think that made a big, big change.
Are you on social media?
Yes.
What are you on?
Facebook.
Okay. How about Instagram?
No.
Okay. Well, we will post this on Facebook for sure so that you can see it. Aside from, I will obviously email you everything. What if we think about robots and artificial intelligence?
That's going to be a big problem. I sit and think, since you brought it up, when I was doing research work, let's say 50 years ago, I would have to go to the library, pick out a book, sit and take a little piece out of the book to do my search, come back the next day, find another book. Just imagine, I can get on the internet and find information within seconds. I can write a research report within half an hour that it would take me days to do.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. What has inspired you throughout your life? What's been the most inspirational thing for you?
My wife.
What was her name?
Rini.
Rini. It's such a lovely love story. It's wonderful.
Well, that was 69 years of an exceptional marriage. They say the time heals. It isn't a guarantee.
No,
it worked for me.
I know. But on a positive note, would you give somebody getting married, a young couple getting married? What advice would you give them to have a wonderful life and marriage together?
Respect for one another.
All right. And how does one show respect within a marriage in your terms?
In my terms, it would be you got to honor what she thinks and she'll honor what you think. And listen, in every family, there is hot discussions and arguments, but the nicest part is making up.
Right. Any other words of wisdom for kind of secret sauce to living a joyful and wonderful life like the one you're living? Anything else that you can impart to our listeners?
Well, I think that my friends, the very end, as you asked about friends before, like I said, there's not too many of my friends left. But as my children grew up, our home was, they gathered in our home. They slept over. My children's friends went on vacations with us. Now that I'm older, they have become my friends. Just this last Sunday, my daughter is away. My older daughter was on call, And I was invited by their friend for Sunday supper. And we had a long, long discussion. It was just like being at home with my children. So yeah, it's important because if I didn't have them, I would sit alone.
Well, I also know having a sense of humor is so important. And I know you have a wonderful sense of humor. I experienced your sense of humor when I asked if you were going to be free on certain dates, and you said, absolutely. And you gave me your whole schedule of being free from that day until the end of this year. Anytime. It was so cute. Very funny. Well, anyway, I'm out of questions unless you want to say anything else. This has been wonderful hearing everything that you have to say. It's so important and valuable when wonderful. So I thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity and thank you very much. And by the way, if you need any help on your computer, give me a phone call. I know
who to call. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's cute. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So, listeners, please tune in on any podcast platform. Please share this episode with your friends and family. And send in a comment to our website at www.growingolderwithgusto.com. So remember to always stay calm and stay connected.